at the time, it was, for me, it was more of, because we were working together, right? I was recording my album, he was my producer. So that was what we were pushing the most.
Yeah.
You know, so and even in the media and everything, it was like, we don't want this to be the focus.
Yes.
So even when people were like, Mara, you guys, you look like, we were like, no.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean.
We're just working together.
Trust me, that was our strategy as well, because remember, we met at work.
Yeah.
And like, what are we going to do? It is Milang. That's my version.
Yeah. That's your version.
That's my version.
I want to go see version Gamma meeting.
So, and then people are like, yeah. Because why do we feel that is important? Especially from a professional to romantic. Why do we have this sense of goodie? We shouldn't tell people.
I think when you're in a work environment and you're working together, it's just about the boundaries and the lines, so that the other doesn't fall onto the other.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, it's important to be careful when you're at work, because people are like, oh, so you're cheating with Banban, so because. So it depends also what positions you're in.
Yeah.
And so it's like just the thing of making your lives a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that it's not like, oh, just because umuntu akhuleta umthethisi uyasithethisa. You know how petty people can be, you know? So.
But I know producers can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Facetious.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
They can be.
And I know there's a better word for it. Strict, and also very particular.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, very. In the studio, definitely, I was not the.
Yeah. Was she an artist you dreamt of?
Next.
I was not. No.
Definitely
he was
not.
very hard on me, actually.
Definitely not.
It was, yeah.
You know,
now that you're reminding me, I'm like, I can't say straight, like.
Yeah, Samita, Ngalia phase there where one was extremely hungry to make it. So everything you touch, you know,
yes.
You know, so who produced this?
Yes.
Remember, there was a time when our industry was extremely competitive.
Very.
You know, it was not about just singing. You know,
like production, everything.
Analyze everything. You know, is it clean? Is it punchy? Listen to those vocals. You know, we have the greatest. So she came. I mean, that was what 2007. You know, so when she came, and also I was employed by Universal at the time. Yeah, but so I had to come up with a solid album, because then it was my huge break.
Yes.
You know, so I didn't have time for sis and Jaba bazo. I wanted what I wanted. And so I got hectic. I got hectic, long hours. You know, because also I had to also ask for favors from some of my prominent friends, like about Theo Josinkwe, you know, about I mean, a whole lot of guys, you know, Abang Caesar, you know, with songwriting and some other elements as well, you know. So yeah, it was hectic. It was work.
But how did you choose her? How did you choose to work with Phumeza?
No, I was actually approached by Universal.
It was through Universal. So I got a record deal with Universal, and then they had to find me a producer.
Yeah.
And then they approached him to.
Yeah.
So he had to like say, okay, yes or no.
Yeah.
So.
Mara itemagakubona.
No, but what I told the music.
Well, you know, our story is very funny, because first time I met her, so I spoke to the late Daram. Fast forward, not okay. Nonobeze Pretoria, because I was swamped. I think I was assisting Ukeli at the time.
Okay.
Yes. So the late Prosper was on my neck.
Yeah.
You know, the manager.
Yes.
He was ex-manager. So I had to deliver that afternoon. You know, ngakhohlwa ukuthi yo konje uDaramuthe, there's a lady she's bringing. So ngathi ngabasendela ama directions. Bengihlalisana iside. Ngabasendela ama directions, and then they got lost. You know, and this is around what, in the afternoon, around about 2-3, and I know Prosper Ngabo 6 will be here, and I'm still like far from completing what I'm doing. Now I had to they got lost. They don't know where they were. So you can imagine. So
the first meeting wasn't like
so ubuhle bakhe and everything else. I was like, yes. Ebanglimaza labantu. Okay, sisi, so we tuyacula, yes. Okay, to write music. Yeah, no, I do. I'm like, okay. Not that I had an attitude, but I didn't have time.
Yeah.
And I think you also had the thing of uthi ngicabanga muhle.
Yeah, no, that I did have. Yeah.
I get my way.
It's one of those,
it happens a lot.
Pretty girl privilege, they say. Yeah.
In everything that I come across, it's always the case. It's all just because you think it's going to be easy, so it becomes harder for me to get stuff.
Listen, when we see reels and people talking about pretty girl privilege, we're like, they're talking, but here you are. You're saying it is a real thing.
No, it's before you even utter a word, people have already.
It's a big judge.
You're not going to get that because you think you're going to get it already. But when I feel ulap,
yes, it's not like you are always walking around with a mirror, reminding you, Guti.
There are pretty girls who go, I'll get it because I'm pretty. But
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, did you show your frustrations, Shoba?
Ask her.
Okay.
He did.
And?
It just wasn't, it was
it was awkward.
Great. Always been a very tatazeling person in Sakul. So ngavanze nje ngatatazela. Yo.
This thing is not going to happen.
I want to record this guy. I wonder. It just made me very nervous. But yeah.
But ngiyambonga uNkulunkulu bhuti, because so this is what happens. So she comes, she says yes. I'm like, okay, do you write music? She says yes. I'm like, do you have something? She says yes. I'm like, okay, please sing it. Ayicule, ngithi mina ngoba ngizwe ukuthi yapi like a progression, so ngithi ngicela usondele so i-keyboard. So uma ecula ngimane ngithola ama notes, so it started making sense with actually there could be a song here.
Yeah.
Maybe not a dance song.
Yeah.
But there could be something, maybe Afro jazz.
Yeah.
Then I did that. So njobe ecula and so I'm busy recording this melody. Okay. So ngamkhulula kanjalo. I think the meeting here took less than 20 minutes.
Okay.
And she was out.
Yeah.
Then ngabeka lento eceleni ngaqhubeka nalomsebenzi because I had to submit.
That's right.
And then in the evening then I remember yes, I promised uDaram ukuthi kuzomela ngimnike feedback.
Yes.
Then I went back to the
to that melody. Yeah.
Then I listened to the melody. I was like, you know what? There is something here. So yonke la pressure now had subsided. So now ngenza ubuntu. Then I called Daram. I'm like, I think something, because Daram wanted to go ahead to sign.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm happy I made that. So I didn't allow the pressure and everything to sort of.
I want to jump this stage and I want to fast forward to the kiss because that sealed the deal.
Yes, it did.
Did you fetch the kiss, Phumeza?
No, I didn't.
What do you mean? Yes, in India spices. India spices.
Tone your voice.
Yeah, listen.
India spices. I mean, no Phumeza kahle na put was the love of music kahle. When you've been working on this song and then it finally sounds right, and then the next thing send again. The excitement?
Yeah.
Remember, I have a point to prove.
Yeah.
And then we have also the most winner, the most winner, the more we get closer and closer and closer.
That's right.
The more we missed each other.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, but what was it for you, Phumeza? Because I'm sure, you had suitors.
Yeah.
But what was it for you that said, hey, lo?
Yeah,
okay.
In fact, Toni Braxton said it best in her song, Guti. I wish that I was in your arms like that Spanish guitar.
That's right.
So you'll find girls who say, I wish bengile yangubo imbathile, those sort of things.
Yeah.
So it started it started as a crush because you get to sit with the person khulume naye, and there's little nuances that indlela khuluma ngayo, indlela hleka ngayo. Oh, yabona makahleli lapha is a producer. It's so hot. I could, you know. So it was little things, but I think the most important thing was just for, like he's saying, we got to spend a lot of time together in studio, trying to get it right. I was the first artist signed to Shota Music, so he had a point to prove. I was trying to get out as an artist.
That's right.
So we had to get it right, and through what happened at Universal, he then became my manager. So we had spent even more time together.
Good.
Then we had to hustle. Radio, blah, blah, blah. So all the challenges that came to both of us. And we both had to put our heads together and go, okay, what do we do? Okay, he has more experience. He's advising me, do this, don't do this, do it like this. And I've also obviously got my own opinions. And then, you know, you're... and then it's okay. You know, so there was a lot happening. So naturally, it's like...
I always say it's... you can tell if this is your person based on the first fight.
Yes.
Because then immediately you know, oh, long naye. And usually men are the ones to sort of sense that. I like how she fights. I don't like fighting with her, but I like that fight, you know, because it kind of told me umuntu onjani isimilo sakhe and all of that. Do you remember that day, Shoba?
Yes, I do, actually.
Oh, you do? I don't.
Yeah, no, I do. I think first time Silwa was when I had brought her past, because umuhlangana nomuntu like ngalidla sahlangana, so you wanna know where they come from. You know, and they have to tell you which okay nganga hukapha nobani.
A bit of history.
And so she had done it a couple of times, and I kept on poking again, which Konje you said, you know. So for the first time, mama kumfanele yabo. But because of my experiences, you know, where you come from, you know, my experiences, but ngamthola yena kuumuntu esingakwazi ukuthi noma silwa ngoba uyashesha ukuxola. Yabona, so if I take yokuqala kwakuyilo where she put her foot down ukuthi I'm not going to justify myself or try and be lo muntu perfect when I've explained to you where I come from. That's and
it's a privilege actually that I'm opening up that door for you.
So lento ingenza ngibe uncomfortable, you know, but it was not just the words but the tone, you know, and indlela ngambone iyona for the first time ebusweni ngabona ukuthi hey uyalwa lo muntu. You know, for this first time nami ngafeel ukuthi hey ngathi ngikhuluma, you know, because see, when you are boss, you know, it's like so hi that day. So ngaqala and I liked it, you know, funny enough.
Didn't it remind you of your mom? Because mothers have a way of fighting you. Of chastising you, but not looking down on you. Does that make sense?
Not at that time, but it happens all the time as I'm married to her. A lot, Putiman. A lot. You know.
You know why I'm alluding to this, Phumeza? And I'm glad you're raising a son. They say when you meet your woman, when you have your man, remember he once had a queen that saw a prince in him. And that very queen was able to chastise and put him in his place without taking away the crown. You see what I mean? And I think that's what speaks at the core of this king, right? And then where did you get that? It's just an innate thing, or you saw it in practice?
I definitely didn't see it in practice. I think when you umukhula with certain sonke sikhula with different challenges, right? Uba nendlela ukuthi kufanele uzimele ngayo, kumele uzidefende ngayo. So I think that's where it came from, to say when it comes to a certain point, I have to be a certain way for me to be able to. But how did you know how to speak to him, especially during arguments? I think for me, over time, also, look, this, like we've been saying, which has been since back then, I think it's gotten it's gotten a lot better in terms of understanding each other, learning each other. And at points, depending on what is happening, you obviously, I feel like there's situations where I could have handled it better.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
no one is perfect here. Yeah.
But you learn it also over time. So for him, like I'm saying, I don't remember. Magatsiena, he remembers the first.
Yeah.
So you know, so it must have been obviously the topic and, and everything else.
Yeah.
But I think you learn umuntu wakho over time to say, okay. In fact, it's a communication thing. Ukuthi yazi mina makhuluma so ungenza ngifile so.
Okay.
Ngicela ukhulume so.
When? During the fight or after?
It happens instantaneously. During the fight, if uyabona ukuthi yazi no, now I'm feeling disrespected, like, okay, dude, listen, I understand you're angry, ne? I understand, like, but can you just or if you can't address this now, I see address it later, vice versa.
And do you do the same, Shoba?
Yes. What has worked for us, though, during the fight, yes, we address it, but it doesn't cut through, you know, because I also want to make a point, and I feel strongly with you're right 100%, and she feels strongly she's right 100%. It usually works a few days later, you know, because remember, when you are both arguing, it's not like you joy when you know you don't want to be in that situation when yourself because you feel explain, you know, and you are very frustrated and you don't want to be there, depending obviously we topic issue you know. But to be honest nje kahle enye into esize kakhulu thina is therapy, of which is namanje.
Is it okay?
Ayisize kakhulu because thina we don't get to roof.
Therapy has literally changed how
everything.
How we communicate.
Give me one nugget. One nugget they gave you that you're still holding on and using today.
Yabona nje okokuqala ukuthi uma sixabana asixabaneli anywhere in the house. We must go to our room. That's one.
Wow.
Asixabaneli thina ngeke sixabane elounge kuze kuphume ingane kuthiwa, you know. Two, uma sixabana we must both sit down.
Come on.
I promise you.
Come on.
Yes.
Why? Why is that important?
Yeah, because
if the other person is standing,
if
or you're both standing.
It works on the mind.
Yeah. You are a threat.
So now I'm fighting the person, not the issue.
Yeah, that's why I better to come because they feel threatened. So first thing, umusuna abantwana, iroom lendu umsamweni. Lendle nayo i-create lapha kulela room.
That's right.
Yes. So lela room lela ila all the dirty laundry should be. You know, so umuzu yabona nje
and then akhona ayi ukuthi
yeah fanele. Yabona nje umesethi baba kaMpilo ngiyacela. Yabona kuba khona nithi kanti hayi uyokhuluma ngento emnandi or something. But yabona nje baba Mpilo yabona ngiyacela I know your room in. So I know which whatever that is very important. Yeah, but and then I lay lula you don't stand up.
Me, I've signed up for this class. I don't know about you. Me, I'm learning.
For me, I think therapy has definitely taught me to be humble. Mangithi to be humble. I mean, sometimes you'll address something and in your mind, you believe you are 100%.
Exactly.
Like there is no way. Like you have facts about this thing. Sometimes you are wrong. So when you have a conversation, if you're getting resistance, it just be like, okay, let me go and do more research, or let me go find out lento isho outing zama ukubheka ukuthi iqiniso noma, because ngeke siphikisane omunye abela omunye abela, right? But because I feel so strongly, I want to be right, but I might not be right. So let me give myself room so that if I come back and I'm wrong, it doesn't feel like how it would feel if I was like, no, wrong.
Exactly.
Be like, okay, no, it's fine. I hear you, my love. Okay, sharp.
That's right. So there's
okay,
room.
let me come back to you. Yeah, but if I'm right, so should say lento le ngibhekile as ngathi ubhayizile lapha.
Yes. And you speak like friends
now. Yes, you know what I mean. So before, because I'm a very emotional person, I'd be like, no, wrong, right. You know. So therapy, like our therapist will sit there and be like, yes. And you're like, baba. And then he explains it and he puts it in a way, and you're sitting there like, Ish.
Yeah.
Okay, awusakwazi nokumbheka emehlweni. So khuluma ne-therapist ukuthi oh yeah baba yeah all right yabo. You are hoping ukuthi he gets it ukuthi hayi
this is meant for you.
Yeah.
And also I feel ukuthi abantu I think most of us njengami nje angikhulumele mina I didn't understand what therapy is.
We thought therapy was a lot of,
you know, I thought that there was going to be a guy ozohlala la angitshela ukuthi ngi-wrong ngi-right and I had an attitude nje ngiyala ukuthi hayi ngizoke ngizweke. You know.
And when we got the therapist, my husband was like, Nina, ngifuna i-therapist ezoba umZulu baba o-understanda isintu o-understand umshado.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is a challenge, let me find this person. And I went and I found him.
Akasizanga yini.
And guess what?
You know, because into engayifunda ukuthi i-therapist inginika ama options solve a problem. So let's say you have a problem. It doesn't mean you don't have a problem. Let's say uqabene nalo muntu. Ukushaya ngempama, let's put it like that drastic. Yeah? So a therapist would say, you know, naturally you'll clap back. You know, but the therapist says, could there be maybe 2 or 3 more options of solving this? How about you walk away? I'm making an example.
Yes.
How about you keep it for later? Later. How about, you know?
Yeah.
For me, that's how
have tools.
Yes. Because all we need is to breathe.
That's all.
We don't breathe.
Hey.
Yeah, well, my emotions are...
Hey!
Hey! We don't breathe. We just need to breathe. Thank you.
Mandisi Chanchis is Tandwa Sam. Who chose this one?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
You like Mandis?
I like some of his songs. This song particularly spoke to me when this one over here was gone. Gone last year.
Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, no, before that, he was away for about 3 months straight.
Wow.
With Nazi. So he wasn't home for like proper 3 months. So I was losing my mind. I was like, and then I came across the song. I was like, this song best describes my feelings because it says Kala Nami and then he cries in the song.
Yeah.
I actually sent it to him and he was like, oh, and we were like, oh, okay.
We have a blind spot today. This lady got a work opportunity overseas. She must be gone for 6 months from this June. Coming back in Jan. The husband says never. For 6 months. Hamba ke wena. Mawubuya la ungamangali mawuthola mamncane. And I was saying, if the roles were reversed, he would have jumped at that opportunity himself because it's about providing, it's about provision. However, the status quo now, women are getting more opportunities than men, whether you like it or not. And some opportunities are huge and they may even require that big of a sacrifice. And she says there is a support system. Both our families are there to help in rearing the kids. And it's only 6 months. I'm going to get this bag for us. What would you say to that man, Shoba? Or to her in order to make this man see?
Yeah, you know, it's so embarrassing because then discuss ishi abanye abantu and you know umcela ukuthi ngiyidiagnose ngendlela engiyibona ngayo mina
because here we are just sharing views.
You know,
she will decide.
It doesn't mean you're right, but they still need to get closer to each other more. You know what I mean is yazi uma senisondelene kakhulu nomuntu niyaplana izinto yabona niyaplana yabo yo isinkwa sikho kusasa eyizokwenza kanjani pinjami yabona kanjani so angikwazi uqhama sengiqhama nesigaxa sengithi you know the guy should have been part of the process even kuma application and all of that you know so you know still nabantu esingabazi asazana you know and I don't think ukuthi wrong kwabanye abantu. It's so that maybe Tina, we were fortunate because you know when our situation happened then you know doors were just closed so we were stuck you know, together, like in this dark room together. So we were forced to learn. So sumanubona abantu mabe disconnected. They might have been together for 10 years, but they just not together. You know, they're not together. So that's where you see those things.
Intimacy is not about romance only.
Not at all, sir. It's about friendship.
In fact, romance is a very small fraction of that.
Yeah, it's about like sharing everything. Like, it's like nikhulume, you know.
Because if they shared dreams and aspirations and goals for their family, like I know my husband's dreams and aspirations. He knows my dreams and aspirations. He knows that if I get certain opportunities, how much it means to me. Like he's saying, Guti, Mhlambi, if he was part of the process of her getting, he would understand the vast, you know, of the big slung, George. The
importance, you know what I mean, of how what this project it will mean.
It's not, and also I feel like there's an element of I'm a man, therefore I can't stay with the kids.
That's right.
Which is also another. We can it's a discussion for another day.
But that too would have been resolved.
You know what I
because
mean?
Start with a plan.
You put structures in place, and
let me bring it home to you. We saw the beautiful traditional wedding. I mean, Showmax still has it, and so on. And thank you so much for sharing that. Because sometimes I respect people such as you. I'm very private, and we are very private.
Yes.
I respect situations like this when people say, well, you know, this part of our lives we can share. And by the way, I should have started the show by saying thank you very much for allowing me to probe in today.
Wow.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, because it's a vulnerable space. And especially for people in the limelight, you feel like you're tackling it to the world, and however it lands, hey, you may end up spending the rest of the year defending it, basically, just for being here. Yeah. But for you to trust me with it, I think it's an honor. Let me bring this part. You've been very exemplary in how you parent. I'll start with you, Shoba. And correct me if I'm wrong. Born with a eyesight challenged child, and you say you had to stop everything and immerse your world and change your world to see the world the way your son sees the world. Take me through that, and Phumeza, please jump in at any moment. Please don't wait for my question and share the story with me. You are blessed. And that's the funny thing about blessings, right?
Yeah. When they come as you're thinking, why me? Why? Can't you know?
Something else.
What happened?
Yeah. So I think mina uNkulunkulu wasebenza ngami differently ngale experience kaMpilo. Because I was never sensitive. I was never a sensitive person.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Uma ngisensitive, I don't mean ukuthi I would do anything, but life was just life. Yabo. Kuba mnandi ngaleso sikhathi, and then I move on and all of that, you know. So kumina, when that thing happened, because it was at the time when mina as an individual selfishly so.
Yes.
Ngase ngidecidile ukuthi hayi izinto zami zihamba kahle manje. I mean sengikhulile enough. I think it's about time manje ngibe nonkosikazi, yabona. And then sengihlanganisa lokho nje boom, yabo ngiqeda ukolobola boom, hawumema usemnandi yabona. So impilo yami nje yabo bese ngithatha le shape yokuba iHrotman.
Yeah.
Ngoba hayi wena manje things, you know, so and nathi bese grand, you know, no mama. So umpilo, you know, kumina was like yabona ke manje yabo. So when that thing happened to him, then it changed everything. You know, it changed everything. You know, I was like, okay, ke now lento bese ngiyiplanile mina njengomuntu othi ubudoda indoda ngomuzwayo nenkomo zayo. So ke manje ke nakuke manje ithathwa away from me land. And remember, I mean, I'm from the music industry. It's all I know. You know, you get a hit, it's taken away from you. You get this, you know, so it's that trauma. So I'm like, but this is the family I wanted to start. Kwenzakalani ngalomntwana manje? Ngapha putting nama contract angazanga the money that has to be paid back if I don't honor those.
Yes.
You know, but I was like no. Kwaba bhlungu kwangisika ukuthi umntwana omncane kanje ongenza ngalutho madoda. Why this? Yabo. So Mama yena wayiphelile nje. Phumeza was just gone. I could see nje ukuthi if I can take a step away from her.
Yeah.
I ngiyobuza into a disaster because she was just gone. Yabo. I was like no, everything else can wait. Yabo, if ngiyindoda, kumele ngisave lo mphefumulo lo mntwana. Uyabona, kumele ngisave lo mphefumulo lo mntwana, whatever that comes thereafter, I'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
So ayikho into obuhlakani wena bhuti engayenza, but I decided to ukuthi kubuyele ukuba sensitive nokuba true to myself ukuthi hayi uma uyindoda wakha at least mele story sakho, lesi story sami lesi.
Wow.
Yabo.
Wow.
Akusona story sabantu.
Face your music.
No, lesi story sami lesi. Uyabona, so hayi ngeke ngiyangena la, and I shut everything out. And that was it. And
you lost business deals.
And not just like that. This was embarrassing, as much as it's still embarrassing today, because, Rudmani, what we face on everyday basis is that, so I would say us as black people, when something or if something goes wrong, let's say with business, or maybe you lose maybe 2 million or something like that, people are quick to write you off. I don't know how we are programmed. So
that's
it's
right.
That's it now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So now, umusuqala ubonakalisa ama signs okukhula. Then they take it upon themselves now
to say no, it can't be.
No, it can't be.
Pull him down, PhD.
The closest ones, man, they make you feel like nothing. Abani, they come like they're assisting you.
But isn't it God showing you that you only have one friend and then it's the one that I've given you your rib?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Funny enough, that's what we always. We are always like we're all we have.
Ayithi ungashaya nje bhuti usenze kabuhlungu wenze uyabona wenze ngeke ungizwe ngithi hey ngiyahleka nje ukuthi awurhulumani kusho ukuthi akulunga hayi shafa then I'm out futhi hayi ukuthi because it's not my war, it's not my battle. Yabo, mina at least ngiclear because I know ukuthi hayi ngeke ngisajika kuleli side lakho anymore. So pingithi izinto ziba right noma zibikho right, but sengiyazi ukuthi hayi wena at least -1.
Yes.
-1, then I move on. So it's about energies, man. Otherwise you'll be a bitter person. Sometimes you need to allow your situation so that you learn from it. Let people hammer, ushawana abantu ushutha but lo muntu akasenalo nozwelo, but they know ukuthi awu madoda but bakushaye but and you must allow that, because if you'll misunderstand, they'll come back later sebezokushaya where it matters the most. So sometimes you just need to shut down and allow this so that you understand how it feels. Remember, you've got children, you still have abantu who are looking up to you that you still have to lead.
And also people project. So there's that book called The 4 Agreements.
Yes.
One of it says,
my wife right now, I can tell you she's doing backflips.
She
loves that book.
Don't take things personal. It's not about you. So if you're going to go around taking things personal, guess what? You're also So yes, it applies to you because you are doing business or whatever, or you're friends or whatever the situation. But if it's not, we are born good, see this thing is becoming personal. You're like, okay, sharp. It's not about me, it's about you. Deal with you, and maybe in the future when you've dealt with you, maybe things will work out.
I think time doesn't really like us. I had so many questions and I think I just asked you 3. Phumeza, here you are raising a child that can't see the world. They're going to have to live with other senses. Your chosen man, life partner, drops everything to make sure that he gives himself into this child so that this child can be raised like any other child. At that moment, as a woman, is that a validation to say, oh, I chose well? Oh man, I saw a great man. Because here I am, I have somebody who deserves to share this life journey with me, which also empowers you to face whatever challenge is facing you.
Yeah, I think that automatically gave me strength throughout everything else that was going to unfold that we didn't know would unfold.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it gave me strength, because it's like, you hear people who you'll hear people who are like, oh, thank you so much for loving your son. You're like, what was I supposed to do?
Exactly.
I gave birth to him.
Compliments though.
How do you stay with your man if he's going through this and losing that? And you're like, what am I supposed to do?
That's right.
So, but when you get those sort of comments, that's when you start going, oh, okay. So society expects for a woman to do it like this. So why didn't I, adhere to society? Where did I get that thing? Because you have to have it from somewhere. And I think automatically that gave me strength to say he didn't, And in my mind, it wasn't even a would he or won't he because of our relationship. It was an automatic, we are doing this. This is what we are faced with. Okay, what are we doing? Let's put on our boots, let's go fight, because from the beginning, in the music industry, in everything that we were doing, we were fighting.
But together.
So automatically when this happened, it was like, okay, sharp.
One of those.
Let's go to war,
Is prayer in the middle of this?
Oh, big part. I wish you could hear our son pray.
Yeah.
No.
He leads the prayer. Bonke, they know it.
And in Zulu, not in English.
I think that's how we really survive. I think that's how uNkulunkulu uzibonisa amandla akhe ngathi.
Yeah.
It's about that. Asilali nje thina singakhuleka. Never. Ever.
Phumeza, here he is. After such a, and that's the thing about the cycles of life, right? After such a long drought in terms of his passion and love and work, and then boom, here comes this huge opportunity from his old friend and so forth. What does that mean? What does it say about life lessons? What does it make a woman feel when you see that happen?
It says that God has written your book. Nobody else has written your book.
Oof.
Therefore, let's say I wrote him off.
Oof.
Right?
Which is possible.
Yeah. Let's say I did.
With all the troubles.
Yeah.
The child, the money.
Guess what? God is like, but and then when Uban, how do you fit into this equation? Because me, I have a plan for this person. I know ukuthi uzophelela lapha. I know ukuthi ngizomthatha nini. Manje wena ungenaphi? Why uphaphela ama plans? So it's just like, for me, it just proves over and over that you can never, I don't care. It might be a guy on the road, on the corner begging for money. Don't think that guy will be there next year. He might not be there next year. He might be somewhere else.
And not because he's passed on.
No, because he got out of the situation, he learned something,
and
he
got
met
timing.
someone who gave him an opportunity, and God turned it around. God uses us to teach each other as human beings. Your journey teaches me something about life, but one human being can't go through everything.
Yes,
we
that's too much.
individually go through things.
Yeah.
But as we go through things, it's for us to gather the lessons and go, God is a show off. That's what he does.
I like that.
He's a show off.
Yes.
He gives you a child, this precious baby. He goes, oh, guess what? He's going to be blind. You're like, hi, hey. You're taught, okay, faka ma prosthetic. No, why ngeke do it. And then guess what? This child, every day you're like, mara nkulunkulu ay mara yo.
Yeah.
Are you a show off, ne? Like, you are, the things that these special needs children do is out of this world. Out of goosebumps on a daily. And it shows, it just shows God's power. He's alive, he's here.
That's why siqala nesikole sabo, like special needs kids, they are ours. You don't understand the level of IQ, what they do, even spiritually. Like, labantwana, they are extremely blessed.
You're starting a school?
Yeah.
What?
So Umpilo, because what happened to Umpilo, simthatha ngokuthi Umpilo yena, he was fortunate to have parents like us. I mean, still now today, abanye abazali do not have this opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
So at least uNkulunkulu umkhathele some, like let us be honest.
Yes.
Like he's got rich uncles. I mean,
Yeah.
I always say that. He's got rich uncles.
Yes.
You know, like no makbeta kuthina, but at least
Umalumu khona.
Yeah, so njobe kule situation efana neabanye abantwana abangekho as
Privileged.
akasebenzele uNkulunkulu. Yeah, akasebenza umpilo akasebenzele uNkulunkulu, athathe labantwana abafana naye. Phela thina sibabolekiwe labantwana.
True.
Ours is to guide them.
True.
And protect them, that's all. But uNkulunkulu angakuthatha manje amshiye yena. Or amthathe manje yena, So umpilo kufanele understand ukuthi une responsibility. uNkulunkulu umlethela ngepurpose. So ngoba asiyazi uNkulunkulu thina akasitshenanga, but siyambona ukuthi ublind kunabanye abantwana abafana naye, akahambe nabafana naye akabasizeke.
Phumeza Shoba. To be continued. I mean, what do I say? Honestly, what do I say?
Yeah, no, injalo, but it's just,
We'll have this conversation when you launch the school.
Yes.
Oh, yes, no, we will.
We will definitely.
And when you launch the school, I'll do an OB from that school.
That
we do it live.
Okay. Oh, that would be amazing, but no, so
exciting. I'm so excited.
Happy Valentine's Day, whether you celebrate it or not.
Happy Valentine.
I celebrate you guys. It's amazing to see people walk the journey of love the way you do. For me, you are a living example of it is possible. It is possible. And I'm thanking you again for sharing your nuggets on how you go about it. It will work for one, it may not work for the other.
Yes.
But the fact that you guys are working with each other, making it work, it's just inspiring.
Yeah.
So keep shining, guys. Thank you.